All right, today we're starting chapter 4. Chapter 4 is the rest of the stuff about slope. Okay, so we are still continuing on with slope. So far you've learned how to find slope from points. You've learned how to graph the easy way with slope. And you've learned how to solve arithmetic sequences with slope. We've learned how to do a lot of different things with slope. So today is kind of a little bit of a review, and then it adds a little bit. Okay, so each lesson we're going to just add a little bit of slope at a time. Okay? So, can somebody tell me what slope-intercept form is?
Where the line.
Y equals mx plus b. Reminder, what's m stand for? Slope. What does the b stand for?
Y. And the x stands for x.
Yep. The b is not just the y, it's the y-intercept, and then the x and the y are our points. Okay? So, very important slope-intercept form. Okay? So we are dealing with slope-intercept. So, first thing we're going to do is write and graph an equation. So, we haven't necessarily written them by what it's given us. So, it gives us the slope of 1/4 and the y-intercept of -1. We are just literally plugging it into the slope-intercept form. So, we said slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. It says the slope is 1/4, so we plug that in for m, and the y-intercept is -1, so we plug that in for b. That's all the first section is. It just gives you the slope, gives you the y-intercept, tells you to write the equation, and then it'll tell you to graph later on. Questions? We've done that in a roundabout way. Okay. And then they graphed it. So on this one, I know it gives you the answer, but write it. Okay, so it tells us the slope is 4, and the y-intercept is 3. Slope is 4, what does that mean?
Y equals.
What letter's slope? If I have y equals mx plus b.
M.
M is the 4. What's the y-intercept?
3.
B is 3, so rewrite y equals 4x plus 3. I don't know why the notes give you the answer. It doesn't really make any sense. Questions? It's just plugging it into the equation for the letter that it's given. Okay, when we get to here, this is what's called a form of standard form. Okay, but we don't like that. Okay, we don't know how to graph the easy way by looking at that, do we? We don't know, right? Okay, you're thinking probably x and y intercepts right now, but we do not want to use x and y intercepts. Okay, we want to use that slope-intercept form. How can we get this to look like slope-intercept form?
Make it y mx plus b.
We want to get it to turn into y equals mx plus b. If we use a 0, what is that going to give us?
Oh,
If we start plugging in zeros, what is that going to give us?
no solution.
Nope, that's going to give us our intercepts, right?
Oh yeah.
But intercepts, does that? One of them would help us, but what's an easier way? How can we just get it to y equals mx plus b form?
6 equals.
Can we just solve for y? Okay, let's solve for y. So I'm going to rewrite here. 3x plus 2y. This is the major part of your lesson. We want to solve for y. What's my first step to get y by itself?
Substitute 0 for x.
Nope, we're not substituting anything. We're just getting y by itself. We're going to subtract 3x on both sides. Okay, so on this side I have 2y, and then I have equals. I'm going to have it in slope-intercept form already. So I'm going to have negative 3x plus 6. Why did I put the negative 3x first? Because it looks like the formula, right? But is y completely by itself yet? No. How do I get it by itself? Divide by 2. I'm going to divide every term by 2. Okay, so I have y equals, remember slope, we leave those as fractions, just 2 going to 3. Evenly. No, so I'm going to leave it as 3/2 x plus 6 divided by 2, 3. Now it's in slope-intercept form, right? Once y is by itself, it should be in slope-intercept form. Okay, so refresh, what's my slope?
Negative 2.
Negative 3 over 2. What is my y-intercept or my b?
3.
Good. Questions? We have talked about these a little bit when it's just y equals a number. Okay, if it's y equals a number, what intercept does that give us? The x or the y? Y equals negative 7. Is negative 7 our x or our y-intercept? Our y, because it says y, right? So if it's y, that is our y-intercept here. But since that's the only point that we know, it's going to be this horizontal line at y equals negative 7. Because negative 7 is the only point that it touches. Does that make sense? What's the slope of this line? Because what's the rise?
0.
It doesn't rise, right? What's the run?
0. -7.
Some number, right? And you can do that. So that's 0. Okay. What if I said x equals 2? What does that tell me? It tells me the x-intercept, right? And the only point that it touches is that point. So it has to go up and down. What's the slope of that line?
0.
What's the rise? Is it rising?
Yeah.
It's rising, right? It's going up and down.
2.
So 2. What's the run?
0.
So what's the slope? Undefined. Yep. Good. So if it's y equals, that gives you the y-intercept. It has to go through that point. Okay, if it gives you the x, that's the x-intercept. It has to go through that point. Okay? Questions, or is it just Monday that you're looking at me with blank stares?
It's Monday. I'm sick.
Okay, now we're going to be working a little bit backwards. Okay, so it's going to give us the graph. We have to decide what the equation is. So what's a good place to start?
The intercept?
The intercept, right? What is the intercept on the graph?
-3.
So b equals negative 3. Okay, now what do we need to find?
X or
Y.
Y. No.
What's the slope?
We're missing the slope, right? Rise over run. So start at that y-intercept. How many do I need to go up?
3.
I would go up 2.
Okay.
Go up 2, and then over 1, right? Because that hits a exact point in there. So what is our slope?
Negative
What is our slope?
-3.
Our slope is 2 divided by 1,
Oh.
which is 2. So which equation does it match?
B.
B, right?
B.
Let me look what all we got left here. Gave us this, okay? If it gave us this point in the slope. So slope we know is negative 3/5, but what's our y-intercept?
0 over 117.
It's 117.
117, right? Because what does this give us?
That's your X and your Y. This gives X. So 117 is Y.
Yep, so this would give us our y-intercept. Okay, so if we wrote this as an equation, how would I write it?
-3 over 5.
5x
117. And then
plus
go up.
Yep.
Oh.
Good. Questions over this stuff. Kind of a review, and then a little bit about it on. Okay. Okay, what if it